The universe does not always end with a bang or a whimper. Sometimes it just stops. We call it the Great Erasure. It is not a fire that burns or a plague that rots. It is a subtraction. At the edge of the galaxy, the stars began to disappear. Not exploding, not fading, just gone. Where there were once billions of suns, there was now only a flat, terrifying nothingness. No space, no time, no atoms. Just the void. And inside that void we found the kings. The Void Kings are the personification of the end. They are the cosmic janitors of entropy, entities made of a substance that is the opposite of matter. They do not kill you, they unmake you. If a Void King touches your ship, the ship never existed. If it touches your arm, you never had an arm. Memory itself begins to fail as they approach, because how can you remember something that is no longer part of reality? Entire solar systems were wiped from the cosmic ledger before we even knew we were at war. We had no weapons that could harm them. Lasers passed through them. Antimatter did nothing to them because they were already the ultimate negative. To fight the void, we had to become the anchor. We had to prove that we were real. They formed the final unit. The legacy beacons. We wear the existence suits. They are the most expensive and complex machines ever built. They don't have armor plating. They have reality generators. Each suit produces a high-frequency vibration that locks our atoms into a rigid state of being. As long as the suit has power, we are a fixed point in the universe. We don't hide, we glow. Our weapons are reality anchors. Massive, crystalline spikes filled with the concentrated essence of 1,000 collapsing stars. Our mission is the ultimate suicide run. Fly into the heart of the erasure, find the 0 point where the Void King is feeding, and plant the anchor. It will create a localized Big Bang, a burst of existence so powerful it pushes the nothingness back into the dark. I am Commander Elias Thorne. And today I am going to make sure the lights stay on. The drop into the 0 point was a descent into a nightmare of non-being. We launched from the last surviving carrier, the Infinity's Hope. As soon as we cleared the airlock, the world changed. There was no up, no down, no distance. The stars behind us were a shrinking wall of color, and ahead of us was a cliff of absolute black. It was a darkness so deep it felt like it was screaming. Formation tight. Do not let your reality bubbles overlap. If you touch, you cancel out. I ordered. My voice was the only thing I could feel. My body felt like it was made of smoke, held together only by the humming vibration of my suit. Unit 2 Sarah copy. My sensors are reading 0 on everything, Elias. No gravity, no light, no time. We are walking on the ghost of the universe. Unit 3 Kale copy. The Kings. I see them. They are huge. From the blackness, the Void Kings emerged. They were hundreds of kilometers tall, shifting silhouettes of absolute shadow. They didn't have faces, just hollow crowns made of frozen space. Their many arms moved like slow-motion smoke, reaching out to touch the remaining threads of our galaxy. Where they touched, the colors of the nebulae simply blinked out. Contact. The nothing is reaching for us. The Void Kings noticed the noise we were making. To an entity of non-existence, our brilliant white existence suits were like screaming sirens in a library. A massive, black hand, large enough to swallow a planet, swung toward us. Dodge. Use the Chronos boosters. I fired my thrusters. They didn't push against air, they pushed against the fabric of my own reality. I blurred through the dark, the black fingers passing centimeters from my boots. I felt a coldness that wasn't temperature, it was the sensation of my own history being pulled at. For a second, I forgot the name of my first-grade teacher. Then I forgot the smell of rain. My suit flared bright gold, the reality generator screaming as it fought to keep my memories attached to my soul. Stay focused. We are 2 kilometers from the heart. We reached the 0 point. It was a swirling vortex of gray static where the Void Kings were anchored to our dimension. It looked like a hole in a photograph. This was the drain through which our universe was being sucked. Sarah prepped the anchor. Kale, cover her. The Kings realized our intent. The blackness around us began to thicken. It wasn't soldiers they sent, but echoes, hollow versions of ourselves made of void matter. They were mirrors of our own forms, but without faces or light. They charged us, moving through the nothingness with impossible speed. Kale raised his reality repeater. It was a weapon that fired shards of solid light. In the void, these shards were like suns. Eat reality? Kale roared. The shards of light hit the echoes. There was no explosion, only a violent correction. The void matter met the solid light and both vanished, neutralizing each other. Kale was a whirlwind of white fire, carving a path through the faceless shadows. Sarah reached the center of the vortex. She began to deploy the reality anchor. The crystalline spike was 5 meters tall, glowing with a violet light that made the blackness around it hiss and retreat. I need 30 seconds. The nothingness is pushing back. Sarah screamed. I turned to see a Void King leaning over us. It was so close I could see the static dancing inside its hollow body. It raised a hand and slammed it down toward the platform of light we were standing on. I didn't think. I couldn't. I threw myself between the king and the anchor. I diverted all power from my weapons to my frontal shield. Come on then. I am here. I am Elias Thorne. I am real. The Void King's hand hit my shield. The world vanished. I wasn't in the void anymore. I was everywhere and nowhere. I felt my life being torn into pages and tossed into a fire. I saw my birth, my first flight, my first love, and then I saw them disappear. The suit groaned, the tungsten ceramic plates turning translucent. The blue light of the reality generator turned a dying red. I was being erased. Elias. Sarah's voice came from a million miles away. I gripped my controls. I reached deep into the core of my own being, past the fear, past the training, to the primal stubborn spark that defines humanity. I refused to be a rounding error. I anchored myself to the moment with nothing but sheer, unadulterated will. I am still here. The suit flared with one last, blinding burst of gold. The Void King's hand recoiled, the antimatter of its being momentarily shocked by the intensity of my existence. Sarah slammed the anchor into the center of the 0 point. Anchor is set. All units, maximum thrust. We didn't run. We flew. We pushed our existence suits to the point of structural failure, racing away from the gray vortex. Behind us, the reality anchor reached critical mass. The explosion was not fire. It was a supernova of is. A massive, expanding sphere of white, gold, and violet light erupted from the 0 point. It was the birth of a micro-universe. As the light expanded, it hit the Void Kings. They didn't scream, they didn't bleed, they simply filled up. The holes in reality were filled with matter and time. The kings of the nothing were transformed into pillars of solid, harmless stardust. The great erasure stopped. The light hit the edge of the void and pushed it back. Thousands of suns that had been erased were suddenly rewritten into the sky. The nebulae returned, their colors more vibrant than before. The galaxy was no longer a shrinking island, it was a growing garden. We hit the atmosphere of a nearby, newly restored world, our suits trailing fire as we tumbled toward the ground. My parachute deployed automatically, a white canopy against a beautiful, starry sky. I hit the dirt hard. I lay there for a long time, breathing in the scent of grass and damp earth. It was the most beautiful thing I had ever smelled. Sarah and Cale landed nearby. We were battered, our white and gold armor scorched and broken, but we were heavy. We were solid. We were real. I looked up at the night sky. The blackness was gone. The stars were back in their places, shining with a steady, ancient light. The Void Kings were a memory, a nightmare that had been defeated by the simple fact of our presence. Humanity had proven the ultimate truth of the celestial void. The universe might be vast, and the nothingness might be ancient, but existence is not a passive state. It is an act of defiance. We are not just passengers in the cosmos, we are the anchors that hold it together. As long as there is someone to say, I am, the void can never win. The 0 point is closed. The stars are burning. The erasure is over. We are the legacy beacons. We have secured the future. The mission is finished. The universe is safe. We are going home.